Guru Prasadat Aham Vimuktoasmi Sharira Bandhat Sarvopadeshtu Purushottamasya Asyangre Padma Pranatosmi Nityam Prahlada Narada Pundarika Vyasamrasha Saunaka Bhishmat Rukmanga Udhava Vishna Palgunadin Punam Punyanimam Parama Bhagavatam Namami Janmadi Asya Yato Anvaya Idara Tasya Abhignya Swarat Tene Brahma Hridaya Adi Havaye Muhyantiya Suraya Tejo Vari Mritam Yata Vinimayo Yatra Trisargo Mrisa Dhamna Svena Sada Nirasakoham Satyam Param Dhimahi Dharma Prochita Kaitava Atra Paramo Nirmasaranam Satam Vedyam Vastavam Atra Vastu Sivadam Tapatrayo Molanam Srimad Bhagavate Mahamuni Krityam Va Parairishvaraha Sadyo Hridi Avaryudyate Artha Kritivi Sushrusavi Tatsyanat Nihama Kalpataror Galitam Palam Tukamukad Amridam Dava Samyuktam Vipada Bhagavatam Rasamalaya Muhuraho Rasika Bhuvi Bhavukaha Narayanam Namaskrityam Naram Shaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudhirayet Vasudeve Bhavati Bhakti Yoga Prayojitaha Janayati Asu Vairagyam Jnanam Chayat Ahaitukam Shunvatam Swakata Krishna Punya Shavana Kirtanaha Vihayantasto hi abadhrani vidunoti suhrit satham Nasta prayeshu abadhreshu nityam bhavata sevaya Bhavati uttamas loke bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Vasudeva para veda Vasudeva para makaha Vasudeva para yoga Vasudeva para kriyaha Vasudeva para jnanam Vasudeva para tapaha Vasudeva Paro Dharma Vasudeva Paragatihi Krishnaya Vasudevaya Devaki Nandanaya Cha Nanda Gopa Kumaraya Govinda Nama Sankirtanam Yasya Sarva Papa Pranashanam Pranamo Dukkha Savanam Tam Namami Harim Param Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna. So we'll continue our discussion in Srimad Bhagavatam, 4th canto. Before we get into the continuation of where we stop, people in general go to God, especially when there are problems in their life. So the question is, why do God have to create problems for people? Dukkham. Why can't it can't be a sukham, always in a pleasurable, happy moments? Why there should be dukkham? We can learn this. Even the kings or the government gives both good thing as well as the bad thing to the society, to the citizens. Bad things are given not on purpose unto everyone, but bad things are given for people who are doing bad things. And when the bad things are given to the bad people, the king or the government do not give that with enmity, hatred, but they do give this as a rule or a policy of the country to make a law and order. Another reason is Unless there are dukkham, or there is a punishment given by God, given by the government, people will try to do all sort of things because there is no law, there is no one to punish anyone, or there's no anything such things. Therefore, people might get into the wrong path because they're not going to be punished anyway. Likewise, unless and until there is dukkham, we will not remember God. If we have always sukham, we will totally forget God also. There are chances that we might forget God if we always have sukham. Therefore, the dukkham can be on the two levels. One is manasika dukkham, another one is sharirika dukkham. That is the dukkham caused by mind and the dukkham caused by the body. So it is not only for us, it is also there in devatas, the higher beings, as well as the lower beings. Everyone goes through sukham and dukkham, whether it's animal, birds, or human, or it is higher than us. They all have sukham and dukkham, both mentally and physically. We've been seeing how Indra was mentally tortured, or he was disturbed when Prithu Maharaj was doing the yajna. He was mentally tortured. Even he was not happy. So dukkham is there in all levels. The reason that we have dukkham is not to become depressed further and keep on thinking about the same dukkham, but rather to focus ourselves to understand the means to get out of the dukkham on a permanent basis. That is only possible if we start thinking about the purpose of life and spend more time on understanding our existence and connecting ourselves with Paramatma, Krishna, so that we can be released from this journey. In the Bhagavad Gita, the very first chapter is entitled as Arjuna Vishada Yogam. Arjuna Vishada Yogam is where Arjuna was in a distress condition. So it's quite interesting that the very first chapter, every chapter in Bhagavad Gita is called as yoga. And the very first chapter, every chapter in Bhagavad Gita comes with yoga, entitled with yoga. The first chapter is called as Vishada Yoga, Arjuna Vishada Yoga, because Arjuna was trying to find peace. The person was trying to find peace, meaning that he should be having some unhappy situation or dukkham. Unless and until one has dukkham, one is not going to inclined or interested towards the sukham. Therefore, we can see how very systematically Bhagavad Gita starts with that person or them who needs of peace or who in distress. They start with Bhagavad Gita, the very first chapter. So, first of all, people should understand they are in distress. They should agree to that one. If they don't agree, then obviously they are not going to come and take up Bhagavad Gita. That's another discussion. Last session where we left was Prithu Maharaj has been given advice by Brahma to give up the last fire sacrifice, Ashwamedha Yajna, so that it doesn't create any disturbance to Indra, and Indra will be happy and you also will be happy. And as per the instruction of Brahmaji, Prithu Maharaj accepted the request, and then problem was solved. And we had some questions about it, and I'm sure, after reading all the responses that we got from many of you, I'm not sure if you even want to discuss about it, but I think you all have given a wonderful response to those questions. Only one thing I just want to address in that is What in case if we are doing something good and someone comes and spoils it? What action should we take? Well, if we have the authority to take an action, then obviously one has to take an action. Dharma has to continue. But if you don't have an authority to stop a bad person, then obviously you need to approach the person who has the authority to stop that particular person. Otherwise, every one of us will take the law and order in our hand and we'll start becoming the police officers, controller. So we don't want to do that one. Therefore, the simple way that we can apply this, especially Gopal, your question, this is your question. So if we have authority, line of authority, then yes, we have to take an action. If we don't have an authority, then we consult and reach out those who have an authority to take a proper action. And when that person is approached, then that person makes the right decision. And whatever the decision is being made by that person, we accept the decision. Make sense? Gopal? Since you asked this question.
Yes, Prabhu. Makes sense. Yes.
Okay. So with that said, let's continue our discussion, reading of Bhagavatam where we left. After this incident happened, then being very impressed by King Prithu, the Lord Vishnu himself directly descended. He came down to congratulate Prithu Maharaj. He came down and he said, Suddhayaha sadavo loke naraveda narotamaha nabidrutyanti bhutebhyo yarhi natmak kalevaram purusha edi muhyanti dvadrisha deva mayaya shrama eva param jato dirghaya vriddha sevaya atah kayam imam vidvan avidya kama karma bihi arabdha iti naivasin pratibhuta anusajjate asamsakta sarira asmin amunotpadite grihe apatya draivine vapi kah kuryan mamatam buddha. So Vishnu spoke to Prithu Maharaj, said, one who is advanced in intelligence and eager to perform welfare activities for others is kind of being. He is appreciating Prithu Maharaj by telling his points that these are the points for the great person. And you have all these great qualities. And that is what he is just saying here in this set of slokas. That is, a person, a best human is one who does welfare for others. An advanced human being is the one who never does any harm to others. He is an advanced person. Those who are advanced intelligently also know the difference between body and soul. And a person like you, who is very advanced, is carrying out the instructions of the authority, acharyas, and never get influenced by the Maya. Those who are in full knowledge of bodily conception of life, who knows that this body is composed of 5 elements and full of darkness, and never get entangled into the illusion, Maya, they will never get addicted to the body. So Vishnu was appreciating all these different things about Prithu Maharaj, his wonderful qualities, how great you are, my dear king. You're not being influenced by the body. And while he was appreciating these things, Vishnu was asking, please ask for some boon. I like to give you some boon. And Prithu Maharaj was asking, the only boon that I would like to ask you is, let me constantly hear about you. That's the only boon I want. Let me constantly hear about you. while this conversation was going on, it is interesting to note that when Vishnu arrived to see Prithu Maharaj, he didn't come alone. So Indra was also standing there, and then hearing this dialogue going between Prithu Maharaj and the Supreme Lord Vishnu, he felt very ashamed. He felt very, very ashamed for his act. So immediately Indra, what he did was he fell at the feet of King Prithu. He fell at the feet of King Prithu and asked for forgiveness. But then what Prithu did was he lifted Indra and embraced him and didn't even talk anything about what has happened. So that's the greatness of this. So also we have to learn a big message from a lesson from Indra, that Indra gave up his ego at that point of time. He was not thinking that, okay, the problem is solved now. He did not do the 100th yagya. I am happy. Problem solved. Let me go back to Sargaloka. No. He understood and he gave up his egoistic mentality, and falling at someone's feet requires a great willpower. Falling at someone's feet means you're accepting yourself to be a subordinate to that person and you're lower than that person. Usually people doesn't want to fall at anyone's feet. They doesn't want to touch anyone's feet because their ego hurts, right? Therefore, in the Sanatana Dharma, we, right from the starting of the child, while they're cultivating the children, we teach them to fall at the feet of elders, right? We teach them to fall at the feet of elders. Now, we learned this one from Indra, that how he and he was ready to accept his mistake. And everything was done. Indra went back, Vishnu went back, Gandharvas, the people who came from the Siddhaloka, Charan Loka, and the Kinkara Loka, all those Pitra Loka, all those people, they all went back to their respective places. And then Prithu Maharaj happened to meet with the 4 Kumaras. The 4 Kumaras are the 4 boys of Lord Brahma, great jnanis. And then when he met these 4 Kumaras, Prithu Maharaj asked certain questions. The question he asked is, a person get entangled in the dangerous material existence because of their previous actions. So Prithu Maharaj understands why people are born, why they get entangled into this material world. It is simply because of their previous karma. He knows that part, not that he doesn't know that. He doesn't need to start from ABCD. Now his question is, could such person whose only aim is sense enjoyment, sense gratification, be blessed with good fortune? That's his question. People are born because of their karmas, and they get entangled so much into the sense gratification. Will such people be blessed with good fortune? Here the good fortune is not to move from apartment to 2-story building, a house, individual house. That is not the good fortune. Good fortune is not that now that he has this job, going to get a job hike in a salary. That is not the good fortune that Prithu has in his mind when he is asking this question. Good fortune is the fortune of getting mukti, moksha, going back to Krishna. Is it even possible for these people? How can they achieve this one? So the 4 Kumaras, the question is so very beneficial. And the question that you're asking is not so nice that everyone will get benefited. Why everyone will get benefited? Because pretty much the majority of the world is towards sense gratification, meaning they want to enjoy life. Not many people are interested in mukti, moksha. So instead, they started responding to the question of Prithu Maharaj that the ultimate goal of human life is to get detached from the bodily concept of life and get attached to the Supreme Lord. And by getting attached to the Supreme Lord, one can easily be in the path of moksha. Well, how do we do that? The way that we have to do is to cultivate bhakti. Unless and until one cultivates bhakti, it's not going to happen. And how do we cultivate bhakti? And Krishna was given so much in Bhagavad Gita, how to cultivate bhakti from one stage to another stage to another stage to another stage. So the people who are interested, not interested in bhakti, can start hearing. If they cannot hear, this is all the message of the 12th chapter of Bhagavad Gita, Bhakti Yoga. If this is not possible, do this. If this is not possible, do this. And quite similar way that the message has been given here by the Sanat Kumaras. And after the Sanat Kumaras left, and Prithu Maharaj was ruling the kingdom for quite a long time. And then as he was getting older, then he felt it is time for him to depart, give the responsibility to his children, and then move on so that he can fully concentrate and meditate on Krishna. So Prithu Maharaj retired from his family and he went to Tapovana. Under the Tapovana, he was just eating the dry fruits, roots, leaves, and leading a simple life with his wife. And his wife was serving Prithu. And as the day comes, he was using his yogic knowledge that he learned. He left his body. And he left the body and followed by his wife. His wife also left the body following her husband. So that ends the pastimes or life of Prithu Maharaj. The Prithu's son, Vijitsva, who was the eldest son of Prithu, he became emperor. Then he had his brothers, and he gave responsibilities to each and one of his brothers to take care of the eastern part of the planet. The southern part is given to someone, and the western part is given to someone, and northern part is given to someone. And this son then received a title from Indra, Antardhana. His name was Antardhana. Indra was pleased with this boy, this king, and he titled him as Antardhana. And Antardhana, who was son of Prithu, he got married to Shikandini. And with Shikandini, he got 3 sons, Pavaka, Pavamana, Suchi. And Antardhana, son of Prithu, also had another wife, Nabaswati. And with that combination, he got another son, Havirdhana. Havirdhana got married to Havirdhani and had 6 children. Among the 6 children, Barigishat was the first one. Then we don't need to remember all these names. But it purifies one's consciousness by hearing these great names. That's why we are reciting and reading these names rather than skipping these names. Just hearing the name of this great personality, we get purified. And the story that we are going to see here, we need to know where this personality came from. Therefore, I'm making understand this lineage. We're going to see a story of Prachina Barhi. Prachina Barhi, King Prachina Barhi. This King Prachina Barhi is son of, he comes in the lineage of Prithu Maharaj. Barhi said that we just saw, another name is Prachina Barhi. So under the order of Brahma, Prachina Barhi got married to Shatadruti. Shatadruti was very nice, chaste wife that before he got married, the marriage ceremony, whatever the yajna, everything has been need to be performed before the marriage. So Shatadruti was coming to the marriage to get married to Prachina Barhi. She was so beautiful, very attractive. Her ankle bell sound attracted even Gandharvas, Siddhalokas, even the Rishis and Munis. The walking, just by seeing her walking, everyone just fall in love with her. Even the residents of Nagaloka, even the great Munis and Rishis, they all got really, really attracted to Shatadruti's beauty. In fact, they were all thinking, I wish I can marry her. In the Niti Shastra, Chanakya Pandit, he says that one whose father, who's an unfortunate person, who's in danger, or poor people, the son whose father has left gets. Second one is the person who has a mother who is unchaste, and that person is also an unfortunate person. The third person is the person who has a son who is not learned, uneducated son. Then that father is also unfortunate father. And the husband becomes unfortunate if he has a beauty, and also his spiritual progress is going to be blocked having a beautiful wife. Now, here in this story, we see that even the great rishis and munis have an eye on Shatadruti. It went to that extreme where the marriage was getting performed and the priests were doing the marriage mantras. The Agni Devata got attracted to Shatadruti. Instead of blessing the couple, the Agni Devata himself got attracted to Shatadruti. Well, we'll cut down the story and just move on. So this is a situation that we see. Even the Devatas are very much influenced by Maya. Even they are influenced by Maya. Then what does it speak about people like us? Obviously, we are going to get attracted to Maya. The only way that we can escape from this Maya is to take shelter of Krishna by performing bhakti. Coming to our story, Prachina Barhi and his wife Shatadruti got 10 children. And they are called as Prachetas. The 10 children are called as Prachetas. Now, Prachina Barhi gave an instruction to Prachetas, his 10 children, get into the family life. Because Prachina Barhi was a karma kandi. Karmakandi means he does lot of puja. Karmakandi is the person who does lot of puja but expecting some benefit out of it. He doesn't leave anything, everything pakka. He does everything nicely, fasting, homa, yajna, serving the brahmanas, feeding the poor people, and etc. etc. Many things he does. Why he does? So that he can be happy, he can get benefit out of it. These people are called karmakandis. So Prachina Bali falls into that category. He does every single thing perfectly without missing anything. So he had 10 children. So he told his children to also please get into the family life by himself, like how he is. So as soon as the 10 children of Prachina Barhi heard this instruction, they accepted the instruction of his father, but before getting to the marriage, they want to prepare themselves. So what did they do? They applied for a job in America, and they came to America, and they found a nice company in California, St. Louis, and life is settled. They also got an employment offer. They took the offer, and from apartment, they purchased a 2-story house now, and they also bought a better car, not a second-hand used car, a brand new car. And now they have some savings, and they told their parents, "I'm ready to follow your instruction. Please find me a girl." Well, that's not what Prachetas did. Their views, the Sanatana Dharma view of getting ready for marriage is totally different than the ideas that we all have usually. The Sanatana Dharma, for someone to become a Grahastha, they should be followed a perfect brahmachari. Therefore, the Prachetas, what they did is they went into austerity into the ocean. They went into the ocean and they were doing austerity for many years. 10,000 years. 10,000 years they were doing austerity and penance. But before getting into the austerity, they happened to meet with Lord Shiva. And Lord Shiva was very pleased with his boys. He gave them mantras and stotras to chant and think about Krishna. And Lord Shiva told himself how he meditates constantly at the lotus feet of Krishna. And he said that is the occupational duties for everyone. Whether you're a brahmachari, whether you're a grahastha, you're a vanaprastha or a sannyasi, to perform bhakti. And this is what the instruction given by Lord Shiva to these boys. And accepting this instruction, these boys followed and did their austerity. While these things were going on, now interesting thing happened. It's going to be now the story that we are going to see is very, very interesting, but it requires a lot of concentration because the story is a little bit confusing. You may confuse if you lose anything. And the story is going to be told by Narada. Now, Prachina Barhishi, while he was in his kingdom, Narada Muni arrived. Narada Muni came and then he spoke to Prachina Barhishi, saying, "My dear king, what are you doing? Why are you so much caught up with karma kanda? Doing this puja, this one, that one. You're too much into materialistic life, trying to get benefit out of all your things. The aim of life is to somehow or the other get rid of all the miseries and be happy eternally, not be happy on a temporary basis." And the king said, "Well, I do not understand what is the ultimate goal of life, this king said. I don't know what's the ultimate goal of life. My goal is to be happy in my life. But if you are going to tell me something better than this, please tell me, explain to me. I'm ready to hear. I'm ready to hear. So the king was not telling, I have no, please, I'm busy. Look, first, another king was jobless, who was free, who was retired. He didn't say any of this thing. The first good thing that he did is, Rajina Bhartash, he said is, I'm ready. If you have something better than this, let me know. Because what he was thinking is, Narada Muni is going to teach him some new puja. Right? Usually, people say this in our in India. You get this this special lemon or a pumpkin and keep it in your house. This is done by puja in the puja. So if you keep this lemon or the pumpkin in your house, and you'll get a lot of wealth, problems will be gone, no bad things will happen. And then someone else will come and tell suddenly, there's another puja. It's called watermelon puja. Lemon is very small. And pumpkin is not, what are you going to do with the pumpkin? Bigger than pumpkin is watermelon. Why don't you use a watermelon? Watermelon puja we will do and you'll be happy. So this king was thinking that maybe Narada Muni is going to tell some special puja so I can be happy for the rest of my life rather than doing a small puja. He was expecting something like that. But he doesn't know what's coming up soon. So now Narada Muni said, well, yes, I'm going to tell you something, a goal of life for you, so you can be eternally happy. For that, I'm going to narrate a story. Are you ready to hear the story? The king was excited. Yeah, sure, I'm ready to hear the story. Listen carefully, because this story requires a lot of attention. If you don't attentively hear the story, you might get it. So, are you all ready to hear the story? The story of King Puranjana. Are you all ready?
Yes, Prabhu.
It's a quite interesting story. And Narada said, there was a king called Puranjana. This person, Puranjana, was wandering different places with his friend Abhignata. Abhignata was his close friend, very dear friend. Wherever this Puranjana goes, Abhignata will also go. So they two were going together, and Abhignata was trying to help this king because the king wants to settle down in his life, trying to find a place where he can suitably live his life, to enjoy the rest of his life. So while he was wandering, Puranjana was wandering, he came to the southern side of Himalayas. And he found a city. And this city seemed to be very, very attractive. And the city had 9 gates, 9 entrances, 9 gates. And the city was surrounded by walls, big walls, parks, and it has towers, canals, windows, outlets, and there are domes, beautiful domes, nice domes. And domes are made of gold, silver, iron, and many floors of houses in the city. And these floors were made of sapphire, crystals, diamond, pearl, emerald, rubies, and many valuable stones. And it was as good as Bhagavati. The Bhagavati is a place of enjoyment, celestial town. In the city, there were many assembly homes, houses, street crossings, restaurants, also places to gamble, markets, resting place, lodges, that means, and flags, and many beautiful parks. And also has beautiful lot of trees, creepers, and with many, many lakes. And the lakes were surrounded by the groups of birds and bees, and they were all chanting and humming very beautifully. Puranjana was watching all this thing. While he was wandering on this city, from a distance, he could see a very beautiful woman. A woman was walking. And she was supported by 10 servants. And there was one more servant who was managing these 10 servants. And each of these servants had 100 wives. And also, this woman was walking, and over her head were a 5-hooded snake. As she was walking, the snake was also protecting and coming behind her. And with his 11 servants, headed by that one servant, and this woman had a very beautiful nose, teeth, forehead, very attractive features, nicely dressed up, nice smile, and Puranjana saw this lady. When he saw this lady, he got attracted. He liked this lady. He was thinking, this is the city, nice city I found. And here's the lady. I think my life is settled now. So he approached the lady and he asked this lady, who are you? What's the purpose of you coming here? What are you doing here? Who are these 11 servants? What is the snake, 5-headed snake behind you, always walking behind you? So Puranjana was asking these questions to this woman, this girl. And the girl responded, the best of human being, she was just addressing to Puranjana, a best of human being. I do not know who they are, but they are always with me, helping me, being with me, associating with me. They are good, my good friends. That much I know. And this beautiful city can be yours if you like, with 9 gates. And you can enjoy for a long time as you like. My dear hero, she said, my dear hero, may I marry you? Can you be my husband? And this is what that Puranjana was also waiting for. Here's an opportunity for him. Therefore, who is going to say no to such an offer? So he was very happy. He was quite happy. And they decided to get married. And then they got married. At the point of time, Abhignata. You all should remember who Abhignata is. Abhignata is his very dear, close, thick friend who's been with him for all the time. Now said to Puranjana, my dear friend, now you have a body. Now you have this wonderful city. And then you have this wife. The life is settled. So I'm leaving now. But whenever there's a time needed, you can call for me and I'll come to help you. But remember, be careful in your life. Don't get too attached. Don't forget the goal of your life.
These are some advices that Abhignata gave to Puranjana, and he left. Now the king Puranjana was having a conversation with his wife, and then he was seeing this city, how this nice city has been arranged. The 9 entrances, the 7 entrances on the surface, and the 2 entrances are on the underground, underneath. This king also got 2 other new friends. These 2 new friends, he spends a lot of his time with his 2 friends. But these 2 friends were blind. They don't have eyes. They were blind. But the king liked these 2 friends so much. So the king was passing his life, having nice time, enjoying with his wife, the queen. He got so much attached to his wife. It says that Pachit Vibantyam Vibati Madiram Mada Vivaha Asnantyam Pachit Asnati Jaksatyam Tagas Jaksiti Pachit Gayati Gayantyam Rudatyam Rudati Pachit Pachit Dasantyam Asati Jalpatyam Anujalpati Pachitcha Sochitam Jayam Anu Sochati Dinavat Anu Rishyati Rishyantyam Mudikam Anu Modate. He got so attracted to his wife that when the queen wife drinks, he drinks. When the queen dines, he dines with her. When the queen chews something, Puranjana also used to chew along with her. When the queen sings songs, he also sings songs. He's not a good singer, but when his wife sings, he starts singing also with her. When the queen cries, he also cries. He doesn't know what the reason queen cries, but because his wife cries, he also cries. So he laughs, he also laughs. The wife must be laughing about this king, but he doesn't know that. He is also laughing along with his wife. When the queen talks loosely, casually, the king also talks loosely and casually. When the queen walks, he walks behind. When the queen stands, he stands. When the queen sits, he sits. When the queen goes to lie down, he also lies down. He blindly just follows his wives. Suddenly, if the wife takes something and smells, he will also go and take and smell the same thing. When he touches, when the queen touches something, king touches the same thing. When the queen laments, the king laments. When the queen feels joyful, the king also will feel joyful. When the queen is satisfied, the king is satisfied. Therefore, the king was so captivated with his wife. He was just doing exactly the same thing, whatever the wife was doing. Are you all still able to hear me? Or am I just talking to myself? Is everything clear?
Yes, Prabhu.
So far?
Yes, Prabhu. Yep.
Yes, Prabhu. Yes.
Thank you. So, as the life was going very nicely like this, obviously the life is going to be nice like this if the husband is like this, because husband is not going to ask anything. He's just going to continue. The life won't be. We all know this one. As long as we don't ask any questions, there won't be any problems. The wife should not ask any question to the husband, why you did this one. Or husband should not ask the question to wife, why you did this one. Even though they know each one, they won't be, life will be very smooth, right? So that's what the life was going on. With Puranjana, life was very smooth because there's no question asked. You do whatever you want. I'll simply follow. So life was going very smooth for Puranjana. But one day came where Puranjana somehow left his wife and went to the forest. He never goes leaving his wife anywhere. Always with his wife. One day what happened, we don't know what happened to him. One day he decided to leave his wife and go for hunting into the forest. So he took his bow and arrow, he took his armor, he put his armor, a quiver with unlimited arrows, and he took his commanders with him, 11 commanders with him. He took the chariot driver, and he had his horses, beautiful horses. And only thing he did not take with him was his wife. He left his wife and then went into the forest. Because he left his wife, now he was just going through all these hurdles in the forest, ups and downs. The ride was not smooth for him. It was very difficult for him. And he was hunting animals like rabbits, boars, buffaloes, the wild buffaloes, black deer, and many kinds of different animals. He was just hunting all these different animals. And later he became tired. He became very tired. Then he returned home. When he came home, surprising is he couldn't find his wife. He couldn't find his wife. So he went and asked, where is my wife? I couldn't see the wife. My wife? Where is she? And then finally the lady said, something is not good with her. She's not at all happy with you. So she's very upset. And the king somehow found the wife. And king also knows the technique, how to, please his wife. So he went and spoke to his wife very nicely, saying that, whatever, we don't need to go through this slokas of what he spoke to his wife. But if anyone wants to get some tips, they can go to Bhagavatam 4th canto and refer to this particular chapter 26 and read the techniques of how to nicely talk and please an angry wife. I'm going to skip that part. So somehow or the other, he pleased and flattered his wife, and life is back to normal. And life was going on very nicely. What happened was, with his wife, he had many children and daughters, and he got further very entangled, attached to his children, his wife, his kingdom, every single thing. The attachments were getting thicker and thicker and thicker. It's getting deep-rooted. It was getting deep-rooted, his attachment. He had 1,100 sons. By the way, you must be asking, what is this wife's name, right? We haven't spoken his wife's name. It's very simple. Puranjani. Puranjani is his wife's name. His name is Puranjana. His name is Puranjani. Please don't ask me question how this name came. After he got married, what was... Don't have answers. But we have an answer at the end by Narada Muni. He will tell the message of the story. From that we can understand how his names also appeared. So he had 1,100 sons and 110 daughters. And with these sons, the sons produced many hundreds of sons, and then the grandsons, and then the great-grandsons, and the whole city was filled with his own family members, in fact. Whole family members. They populated pretty much everything. And Narada Muni said, we should not forget, Narada Muni is telling the story to Prachina Barhasi. He said, like you, O king, Puranjana is also very much interested in doing all these karma kanda actions. He was also very much into that one. He worshipped very many devatas, forefathers, and did pujas, so that he can live a long life, happy life, and with all prosperity, with good health, etc., etc. Life was going very smooth for Puranjana. But there was a turning point. Turning point was that there was another king called Chandavega. Chandavega was traveling around trying to conquer other countries. So now he saw the kingdom, the city of Puranjana. He said, why don't we take over this? Now, while Chandavega was wandering and coming, the daughter of time, Kala Devata, daughter was also wandering and she's trying to, this is where we really have to concentrate more. I might get confusing or get lost. So the daughter of Kala was searching for a husband, suitable husband. She was going through all different planets to find a suitable husband. Her name was Kalakanya. But no one really wants to marry her. They were all really, in fact, afraid to marry her, Kalakanya. They were afraid to marry her. So she was trying to go around, look for many, a suitable husband. She also came to Narada. Narada is telling himself, oh, she also came to me, wanting to marry me. I said, Hare Krishna. So she got angry with me and she in fact cursed me that I will not stay in one place. I'll be wandering all over the places. Because of the curse, I'm Narada, never have one place, no accommodation. I'm a homeless person. Krishna is my shelter. I've been roaming all over the place. After being disappointed, then she was going to Yavana, the king of Yavana, whose name was Bhaya, and asking him to accept her as a wife. But rather accepting, they made a plan, this Yavana, along with the Chandavega, the king, and with their brother, Prajvara. And Chandavega, with Kalakanya, they were all teamed up now. They all teamed up and they want to attack the city of Puranjana. They all need to attack the city of Puranjana. And they got all the powerful soldiers that they need. They marched towards the city of Puranjana and trying to attack the Puranjana. The city of Puranjana was guarded by this 5-hooded snake. You remember that snake was saving his wife behind Puranjani? The 5-hooded snake was protecting the city. And as they were attacking, the fight was going between the snake and this group. Somehow the Kalakanya entered into the city. As soon as she entered the city, what she did was she caught hold of Puranjana. Embraced Puranjana. As soon as the king was embraced by the Kalakanya, Puranjana, he started losing his beauty. You don't know what happened. He was just losing his energy, his effulgence, his beauty. And he was losing his memory also. So Puranjana saw that slowly, the city was getting scattered everywhere. The sons, grandsons, servants, ministers, they were also becoming little opposive of Puranjana. He was just quite surprised. They were becoming against Puranjana. But his attraction towards his family members, relatives, followers, friends, servants, secretaries, ministers has not gone. He was still attached to them. But Kalakanya was still there. Because of the Kalakanya's association with Puranjana, Puranjana was losing and becoming poor as time was passing. And the city of Puranjana was overcome with the Gandharvas and Yavanas. And slowly what happened was they came and caught hold of King Puranjana. And the king, the city was set with blazing fire. And the snake was just slithering and went away because of the fire is there. The snake left the place, the city, out of fear. Many citizens, servants, the grandchildren and sons and wives and relatives, they all were set in fire. Many tried to escape, many caught in fire. Now the king became very unhappy. He was thinking about his daughters, sons, grandsons, granddaughters, daughter-in-law, son-in-law, servants. He was just thinking about everyone. And he was thinking about his accumulated wealth because of his aham and mama, I and mine. Their attraction towards his wife has not gone. But he was feeling sad and sorry for himself. What happened was he's being dragged by the Yavana. They dragged him. At the time, the king was pretty much losing his body. He's going to die. While he was ready to die, that time, he was just thinking about his wife. How nice my wife was. I wish my wife was here to save me. How nicely I spent time with her, dining with her, talking to her. She was so sweet. She was so loving to me. He was just thinking constantly about his wife. As he was continuously thinking about his wife, that's what he was thinking. He was leaving the body. He left his body. When he left his body, because he was thinking of his wife, in his next life, he took a body of a woman. This time he took a body of a woman. He gave up his body. Next time, when he took a body of a woman, he was born as a daughter of King Vidarbha, the Vidarbha king's daughter. He was born as a daughter of King Vidarbha. And he got a name of Vaidarbhi. As daughter of Vidarbha, then the king Vidarbha, he got his daughter married to Malayadwaja, another king called Malayadwaja, of a Pandu dynasty, Pandu kingdom, country. Malayadwaja was a big person, very devoted person. He got married to this girl, Vaidarbhi, and then had 7 sons, who was ruling the kingdom very nicely. And later, he divided his kingdom to all the sons, and he wanted to retire. So he retired to the forest with his wife and did a lot of austerities, penance, and finally left his body and attained moksha. the wife of Malayadwaja, Vaidaki, after being lost, his husband is lost. Now she don't know what to do. She was catching hold of the dead body of her husband, and she was crying, beating her head, beating her chest, and she was just crying. Who's going to save me? Who's going to be protecting me? What am I going to do without you, my dear husband? She was just crying and crying and crying and crying, weeping, crying. How am I going to survive without you? Please get up, my husband, get up. You can't leave me alone and go. And she set the fire of her husband's body and wanting to leave herself, die herself, jumping into the fire. At the point of time, a Brahmana came. And he started speaking to this lady. Who are you? Why are you crying? Whose wife are you? Whose daughter are you? Who is this boy? Her husband. Who is this boy lamenting on his body? Well, can you recognize me? The Brahmana asked. And Vaidyavi was crying and saying, this is my husband, my prana. My husband is my prana. He is dead now. I'm lifeless. I don't know what I'm going to do now. Better for me to die. And she spoke all these things. And the Brahmana said, well, do you remember me? Do you remember me? I'm your friend. I'm your old friend. Do you remember me? We used to be together. You always consult with me. I give you good advices. And later, somehow something happened. You left me. But you don't remember that. But I remember. Actually, in your previous life, you were King Puranjana. And I was your friend, Abhignata. Remember I told you an advice, be careful. And this is the end of it. So now that we are back together, do not lament. Do not worry about things. Focus yourself on the purpose of your life. And be happy eternally. And said this, Narada Muni told the king, ends here. That's the end of the story. Now the king said, I don't understand anything what you said. I don't know why you said this story to me. It's quite confusing. There was a king who, got attracted to his wife, and then he left his body. He got married, became a wife for someone, and his husband died, and he got connected to his friend. What is it? What is all this? I can't understand one thing out of it. Could you please elaborate and explain to me how this story relates to me? What is the message for me in this story? Narada said, please join the session next Saturday at 10:30 sharp. Do not miss to understand what is the meaning of the story in detail. There's a lot of wonderful meaning to the story, and we'll continue next Saturday to understand the story in more detail. So if you have any questions or anything, please ask. Don't ask questions about the story because the answer is going to be next week. But if you have any other questions, please feel free to ask.
If there are no other questions, Ashok Prabhu, can we end the call or anything else need to be told?
No, Prabhu. Good story.
You are 10 times from me at least, I think. All right. If no other questions, thank you all very much. Be safe. Continue your prayers for the welfare of the entire globe, so we all can be back to our services and be in association together. Take care and Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Thank you.
Krishna, thank
Hare
you.
Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Vinay Prabhu.
Thank you, bye.